President Zuma speaking earlier there at the forum. Well, SABC's contributing editor William Volker spoke earlier to the author of a book on the relationship between China and Africa. He asked Adam Geyer what the book reveals that Africans don't know about the Asian giant.
The book was published in 2006, at the time when the relationship was growing. As you know, China disappeared from the radar of Africa in the 1980s, 1990s, when it started off at the end of the 1970s, its economic modernization program. And when it came back towards the end of the 1990s, because its economy was growing and it needed to have the natural resources to fuel this growing economy in China, it had to re-engage Africa. And that's what the book is talking about, that from $10 billion in 2000 to today, 220 to $300 billion of trade between China and Africa. This needed to be documented. Secondly, what was needed to be documented was the diplomatic transformation. In the 1990s, with budgetary difficulties, many African countries went to Taiwan, that is seen by Beijing as the 23rd province of China. This time around, they are going back to China because they are seeing China, the continental China, as a power of the 21st century. And that's also something that the book talks about, the role played by Africa during the Cold War, how they helped China regain in October 1971 its seat at the United Nations against the position previously occupied by Taiwan. So I think it was necessary to discuss China's role into Africa and to see whether effectively this re-engagement after having disappeared from Africa would be this time around to the benefit in depth of Africa. And I think that the question of the book is about, is China the dragon coming strongly, knowing what it wants, and Africa the ostrich, burying its head under the sun and not taking advantage of the new opportunities generated not only by China, but other countries now interested to Africa?
I want you to answer that question. Is Africa, the ostrich that you've just described, that has buried its eggs underground and that cannot be seen exactly what it is that it wants, what it is that it wants to, in particular with China? Absolutely.
It is the ostrich in my mind. Even today, in the speech made by President Xi Jinping, when he made all these announcements, Africans seemed leaders, they were impressed, carried away, as if China would bring the umbrella to fix Africa's problem. No, Africa's problem would be fixed by Africans. The conditions should be created within Africa to generate the money to develop the continent, but not expecting that $60 billion, no matter how impressive it will look, would fix the problem. Because China is doing this not on philanthropic terms. They are doing it because they know they need to readjust their business model. At home, they are no longer interested in export or investment. Basically, they are trying to promote service industry, and they are trying also to rebalance the economy in order to develop certain regions that are really restless, like the western part where the Tibet is located, or the central part. Now they understand that instead of using the huge foreign reserve that they've made from the successful export policy they conducted from the 1970s to 1990s to 2000, they used that money to put it in foreign treasury bond like in the USA. And the dollar being unsafe, Western economies not being very safe, China understands clearly that it makes good sense, while doing soft power, to come into Africa where you have the natural resources, where you can relocate your industries that are facing difficulties, competition at home against the Vietnamese and the Indonesian, and also taking advantage of the growing consuming population, 400 million people in Africa. So I think that China makes good on what it needs into Africa, but the Africans have not come up with whatever they expect China to do to ensure that jobs are effectively created for Africans, that value is added to the resources of African countries, that in the cooperation, Africa should take the lead, and even in the logo that is used for the summit, China continued to call it China-Africa. It should be called Africa-China.